Let's see.
Click that link.
Technology genome. Okay. 500 models, 50 machines, all artifacts. Let me share the screen with you.
Graph theory of civilization production. Yeah. I said 500 modules before. I'm kind of identifying 314. And basically, if you think about elements for building all of technology, then you can think of, there's actually 314 that I've identified as, let me give you another link. So for the actual final one, so you see what the actual, yeah, because I've gone through a few iterations, but it's like, what is it? It's a shaft, a ball bearing, a solenoid. That's what we're talking about. So take a look at this is the final list of about 314, genome 310. But that means you can create all of civilization. So you can actually build a spaceship, a rocket ship with that, you know.
Wow.
But it's just breaking it down into individual modules, like super simple elements. So this will be like the periodic table of the elements for the technosphere.
Man, that's so cool.
Yeah. So anyway, but as far as what it looks like for, are you recording this? Can you record it?
Yes, it's already recorded.
Awesome. So let me show you the other thing, which is now if we talk about production homes, let's do there's a page called construction sets, and I put in, so look at construction sets, and the one that is interesting to us is the iconic CAD housing library, which is this. Iconic CAD housing library. So if you go into that list, we've got 341 modules that we now need to schematize to do the iconic CAD, meaning drag and drop icons. Go up a little bit, click on the iconic CAD housing library, the second. Yeah, so that's what it is. Scroll down a little bit, and there's 341 units. Those are all the units there. So, you know, that's the site plan, blah blah. But there's 341 of those, breaking a house down, house or any structure like the hangar or rapid learning facility, etc. So you kind of see what's happening there, right? Yep. So now how long can it take us to do this? Well, we need a few assets for each. It's basically a parametric schema for each. We understand the interfaces fully, and then that's how you do the iconic CAD drag and drop. Like say you know, even for the foundation, let's say, well, we'd still want to break the foundation down, like, well, whatever the foundation is, into several more components. But anyway, like here's a design language for a house. And these icons are kind of like shitty. They're kind of like what ChatGPT gets you, but of course you can refine them and stuff like that. But the idea is you have those individual icons, so each number, assemble them together into more and more complex things. And so for example, if it's cabinets, you're going to have cabinet hinges, you're going to have a tabletop, whatever structure.
So the system will help you to know which number goes with what other number, and then to use.
Right. So how do you do that? Well, so this is where the design guides come in. So this is just the list, right? But above this, you have, well, how does a house come together? Well, you've got a floor, you got a walls, you got roof. Okay, that's 3 right there. But then you can keep breaking this down into, okay, the foundation contains these forms, this insulation, this rebar, this gravel, and so forth. So you have to know the language. The language is what we teach. So, and then you can make, how do you make this easy? For example, just to give you an instance of how the iconic would work, you want to design the wall system of the house. Well, then you would have one picture with the icons, and you know the icon set there. Therefore, you know those are the building blocks of that thing you're building. So that's, you know, that's one graphical way to communicate it. But we have to think of a good way to communicate it. So for example, in the source icons, you would have, like, you know, the top black bar, you could have hanger, and then you can have parameters like 52 feet wide, 10 feet tall. So you can start putting in the parameters, write in an icon, and then drag and drop that icon to, well, hanger is just a hanger, but if you have like one wall section, you drag a whole bunch of wall sections with different parameters, you've got a complete house and stuff like that. Anyway, it's we got to implement this now. These are the actual elements, and if you click on each, like there's documentation. Like, for example, how do you know how to build it? Well, if you click on any of the things that are blue, there's a ton of documentation in there. Like, click on one that's water heater circuits. Okay, click on that. So, you know, say you click on that. Well, there's a shitload of documentation right there. Look at all the parts that go into the
water heater.
Yeah, so you can study these things. You can go to AI. You can so between thousands of pictures, documents like this, and there's actually CAD files too. You can actually trace this back. Like, for example, if you were to feed this all into AI, you could say, okay, now give me the step-by-step procedure for building this thing or whatever. But we have to schematize that. Like once we get the optimal way to say, okay, this is how we build the water heater, which already a lot of that is contained within those visual BOM diagrams, then you can say, okay, here's the optimized way, and you encode that into the schema so that whenever you have an instance
what it means, BOM?
Bill of materials.
Bill of materials.
We do the things called VBOM, visual bombs, visual bills of materials, like that thing you clicked on, which has the individual icons for each part, like in the one with the water heater there. So yeah. Anyway, I can go on with the theory, but the idea is what we want to do is present a few videos that summarize how this whole process works. But right now, the thing is, you got these 241 modules. We got to attach a schema to each, so it's a generative schema. And just to just to tell you what's going on in the other, like for example, we've already got a whole bunch of schemas for like these whole building blocks, and now we're working with AI to assemble them together. I mean, you can work
What AI are you using to do that assembly?
So we're using ChatGPT primarily, because.
But how are you using it? How? Just to be curious. Like, do you pay like the $20?
$20. $20, and you've got this.
And $20, you can do a lot of stuff.
New civilization, $20.
Interesting.
No, I mean, right now Katarina, so she's testing that out. She's the second person I taught this to. She loves this. Now, basically, like, okay, now you can tell ChatGPT, okay, now give me corrugated steel metal on this wall. And it does that, which would be like hours to do that. So you can do that in 10 seconds now, before it would take you hours to do it manually within CAD.
That's true. So what is the current status of the iconic cat? Like,
that's what you got there. So that's the breakdown. We know how to. We've got some. There's another thing. I can show you the.
So
the latest.
technically, for everyone that is watching, you can see that all the categories to build a house are here, and those are the categories. And then the purpose, and then the objects, which are essential too. And then when you click, you will click and find the specific documents that have already been created for each one of the elements. Yes.
And this is basically from CDK Home 4, the exhaustive documentation on that. Now, if you look at how you actually create libraries and GitHub workflows, click on the next link. So Colin did work on this. Colby did work on this. So click on the Colby thing, which he basically took what Colin had. Like, I didn't even tell him to do anything. He just took all the stuff that was on a repo from Colin, and he took that to the next iteration. So click on that link for Cameron Colby Thompson. Yes, I mean, that kind of, work in progress, but basically now you got to create a whole bunch of libraries that are, I think actually the first thing is proper.
Yes.
Yeah, proper nomenclature. Like, we got to get, I think I'll work on taxon, like more on like, okay, how do you call all these things so that we can have libraries and proper indices, and then put out a video and get hundreds to thousands of people working on this in parallel. because you can take each item to be developed in parallel. So that's how we can hope to solve this, which is still, I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like the idea is you have the iconic CAD, you generate all build documentation, you spend about, say, 4 hours designing a new version of the house, everything comes out of it. You know, full build documentation. That's an absolute game changer, because I've said that many times.
Very nice stuff. Colby, and where is Colby located?
He's between Kansas City, California. He's actually one of the board members. He's been around for a long time. So he's actually working on the AI server that has all the wiki, and we can actually automate some of this kind of stuff. So AI server for open source ecology, like using like a $5,000.
How is that going
CPU.
on?
Good. I mean, he's like halfway through it. He's setting it all up. Yeah.
Yeah, and just by reading this, for example, in that server, if you can put this model that is here, it's a fantastic model, the Quen 3.6, because I've been doing experiments a lot these days with different models. And I have found that the family of models from Quen is literally very powerful, and it's open source. So it could be adapted in many ways, that specific model, and it's very powerful.
Yeah, which is actually the bigger political comment, that China comes in to save the world from absolute concentration of capital. Right?
That's the most interesting thing. The Chinese giving us open source LLMs.
Yeah. No, that's an interesting turn, because apparently they're going to start eating up the lunch of the American companies. They in some way already are, right?
Yeah, and makes sense, because just today I was writing an article about how Anthropic has to pay $1.5 billion in this IP legal problem that they had, because what they've done is like,
is that back to OpenAI, Elon Musk?
No, that's the Anthropic one, the Claude one. So this one, Anthropic to pay 1.5 billion. This one. This is the settlement that it was just approved. Actually, it's a 1.5 billion settlement for copyright infringement. So what this big AI company did was, like, they went to these illegal sites that you can download books, which are great. Which are great sites, actually. But then they download it, and then they train their models based on those books.
Wow.
And then what the judge says is, man, you're stealing the content from those. You don't even bought the book, you just download it from those sites. So now Anthropic pays this settlement. So it's more like $5,000 per book. So imagine if you wrote a book and they will pay you $5,000. That's it.
Yeah.
So, and they literally take all the content, but then they're not happy when any one of us can just use Anthropic, answer questions, and then train our own AI model. So what I'm saying is, that's why distillation of AI is the way. Like, we should distill, like, meaning we should just ask all these big AIs to answer questions so we can train our own models, our own local models, because, they have proven that they already did that. So now you cannot complain. You already took all that content from thousands of authors, and the information is already in your model. So you cannot just simply take it away, correct? So this is a very interesting thing that I'm seeing the world evolving. And
are you saying that strategically you want to use the existing AIs to actually feed content into your own models?
Yes, and that's the best way. Like, actually, the model is like, for example, the one that I was showing you that you have as reference, the Quen.
Yeah.
The goal is that we take the big models to be the teachers of that one. And by being the teachers, it learns and become better. That's it. That's the whole point of this. It's called
I mean, in fact, that sounds like a way that Yeah, I mean, then the balance of power can happen through that, because these guys are spending the billions on training, and then we take the fruit.
Exactly. So it's called distillation. Actually, and the American government was accusing the Chinese models to doing this.
Yeah.
But this is the most interesting thing that we have, and I like that you have identified the key models that I also agree are one of the best, because at the end, with all these models, we can just make it better every time, and anyone can learn from these models.
Yeah. So that's really good. Very cool.
Yeah. So let me know as soon as the server is set up and everything. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
To see what other experiments, because at the end, what you will do, for example, with a model like this one, is you give him all the access to all these wiki, not only for A/B setup, but to compare reviewing models, but to build things within that. So it's like a tool to build. That's the reason I was asking you that. It's incredible that only with a $20 subscription you have done this, because it's like a lot of work with just very
well. That's myself and Katerina, Colby, and Colin. They've been using Claude.
Yeah.
I don't know what Colby's doing, but I think probably Claude.
Yeah, I think he uses Claude.
I use the cheap stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it from the style. So pretty good. And what is this polymer OS? Ancestor. Let me check this. Nice. Okay. Interesting experiment.
It's Colby's work.
Very nice. Okay, very nice with the iconic cat. Really like it.
Yeah, and remember that that's the prerequisite for the builds to happen, because that's how, like, when we're going to build 3 houses for the investment model, we have to have that kind of material ready. Otherwise, we're reduced back to standard construction speed because nobody has documentation.
Correct. So the advantage is the availability of the documentation plus the guidance. Correct.
Yeah. The idea that now because of the documentation that enables the swarm to happen effectively, which was a crazy idea without Iconic Cat, and we're trying to do it anyway, but it's kind of bottlenecked at the point of documentation. We actually thought that any new house would be just, you can pretty much take all the former documentation. You can in some way, but no, you got to modify everything. You have to adapt absolutely everything, because one little change will propagate down the whole house, right? And then everything's wrong, and you got, you're back to comical inefficiency.
Interesting.
I mean, that's how it works. That's the secret sauce there. And we always said that the documentation is the secret source for how you can enable the rapid build.
Yeah. Yeah, and for example, these were previous.
That's like, so that took that
on how to organize it.
Yeah. Here's like 43 of those, and then those were broken into the 341.
Wow.
Basically, once you take those into just a little bit of higher detail, or maybe add a few elements there. And that part, the 341 set, is relevant to production housing. Now, go to village construction set. I just want to show you one more thing. So back in construction sets, go to the village construction set.
Village construction set. Yeah.
Go back to there you go. So if you click on the work doc, which is line item number 15, click on that one. So that kind of now go into that document. I mean, basically now this tells you more of an assembly. Keep going, scrolling through that just to show like that. This is what we're doing here. More like now take an entire box of a house. So that's now assembly level. And then you're getting into, keep going. Just I want to show you, but yeah, I mean, okay, go back to that one. Back. That is more like that's assembly level. So now you're talking whole things like roofs, bodies, and floors. And that's the next level. And we call that the village construction set, where it has not the module level, but more of the assembly level language. And so that's what we're defining here. because actually the way we're planning to build out the campus here is take 12 by 12 modules and stack them on each other with a telehandler, so with heavier equipment. But you can also do them by hand too. But we're saying, okay, let's just build the whole units so that we can build 24 of these rapidly,
Yeah.
and stack them with the telehandler. So you can say, for example, build them in the workshop once again, and as the units of 12 by 12 feet, so 4 by 4 meters or so, and then stack them into just so once again, rapid building. Yeah, and exploring all kinds of different configurations, like how do you actually do it. So actually now we're working out the real language for doing that. Like, so that's more than like just bullshit design with like blocks and Legos. It's actually, we're reifying that with like, we have the technical substrate that lies underneath that.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the key is how to take all this knowledge so anyone besides you and the 3 people can understand, Marcin.
Yeah, exactly. That's the next problem statement. So that would mean, so that's our next step, really. So maybe, do you want to talk a little bit about how to do that, or do we want to review the enterprise?
Yeah, let me share with you. I sent you a couple of documents, and I also. Yes, but I'm gonna share a presentation that I built based on the documents that I already sent you. I call it the treehouse machine. This is because we discussed several things before, but then I was thinking, because we discussed the big one, someone that can put millions of dollars. Then we discussed someone that can put money for one house. But then I was trying to find the optimal point, that we have enough funding, but also we don't need a lot. So that's the key thought process about this. And that's the reason I call it a treehouse machine. Of course, I have some assumptions, but the key thing, and so, for example, I do all these presentations with something that I call my presentation skill. So it's a system that I have already built. I just have to fit with my. So I'm gonna open source that in my GitHub so I can share that with you, and anyone can.
Wow! So you're producing, not only that, you're producing a proposal construction set.
Yes.
Pitch. Oh, I love that. I love it. And before we go further, let me ask you about this. Did you see my comment about how I want to make sure that the enterprise architecture and the governance parts are open as well for maximum our thing is radical distribution of power throughout the world, right? Are you in on that with respect to now, as we go forward in process on the business model, enterprise architecture development, that we actually share that in process? Because just this very specific thing, the proposal you sent last time was private.
Yes.
And do we want to go like that, or can we post like a high school girl about this and keep it absolutely transparent? Or are there any practical issues? Now, of course, we gotta, we don't publish like sensitive information and stuff like that. These are ideas. The actual differentiation comes in the ability to execute. But I'm saying, if we can actually show this in process, we're gonna elicit collaboration potentially from people who are like, holy shit, these guys are like, they got real numbers there. They're actually working on a real thing. And I think that will be good for collaboration. People will join, and because the market is large, as in the trillions, we can share. And there's absolutely no limit to our ability to share. What do you think about this approach?
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I'm always happy to share all these discussions and ideas, and because it's part of the ethos, no? The ethos is at the end is open source, and that's what we want. So I'm of course happy to share all of this.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue then. Yep.
Let me check this thing. Nice. Good. Okay. So the deal. What is the deal? And I make this like just to. So imagine this is gonna be for an investor. So the investor says, okay, how much money do I need to put? And my logic is the following. Let's suppose we train the 24 people, and the 24 people are trained for 6 months in what we call this acceleration, house, iconic CAD, construction, whatever. My question for you is, can those 24 in those 6 months build 3 houses?
Yes.
Part of the learning as well, it's like, that's my thought process,
Yes, and the only consideration is that making sure that somebody doesn't whine at it saying, oh, you're abusing free labor of students.
Yeah. But that's the whole concept here, because I was thinking, remember that in the previous discussions, it's like, okay, you invest, and then we train, and then we build. But I was thinking, in order to showcase everything and demonstrate that this whole swarm process is as effective as it is and could be as scalable as it is, by doing it within the 6-month period and building 3 houses in this 6-month period as part of the training, that could attract people to understand the potential of the model. But also is like, man, if we can really build 3 houses in 6 months, then we are already demonstrating that the whole model is superior than any other model. That was my whole initial concept with this, what I call the 3-house machine. This is my.
And I say that's music to my ears. Absolutely. The challenge is now delivering. But yes, I believe that can all happen in the 6-month training program. That's a thought I've had for years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because my logic is, imagine the people get in the program, the people deliver, we deliver, the 6 months end. So we graduate people, great. We build houses, great. So we have something to show. And then that the people that have just graduated, because during this process, we show that they were able to do it. Some of them, they could launch their own business. Some of them could partner with us. Some of them could be trainers. So it's not like in that way we are.
Absolutely.
We're not even limiting the thing that we said the last time that said, oh, work with us for 1 year, 1 year and a half, and you're free. No, here is, let's commit for 6 months to really achieve something.
Yeah.
That no one has done it. So everyone wins. And then after the 6 months, maybe some people say, yeah, I will just do my business. Okay, that's good, but you were trained. But then we already have all the elements to showcase and scale to the next phases. That's the advantage.
Yeah. And the limit to 6 months is you'll get a lot of the culture in that 6 months. Now, remember that the longer term thing is 4 years where you become an ethical hyper agent or this crazy person that transforms the world. That's the deeper picture through the power of open collaboration. The whole bigger, all that fluff that is very hard to explain to people, basically world transformation. That is the deeper track. Now, how we get there, it's through the immersion program, which takes more time to develop all the different skill sets. From the personal development curriculum, all that, like the whole growth mindset, abundance mindset formation. That's a bigger picture. Now the 6 months could be like, okay, the 6 months could be a great first step to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because you're right. Like we have different programs: the 4-year, the 2-year, the 1 year, the 9 months, depending of the goal. Here, the goal is, let's prove the model is viable. And everyone that participates wins. The participant will learn. So something that most people will never learn in 4 years, actually. So in 6 months, you will learn more than most people will learn in 4 years. Second, we as OSE, we execute the vision. So it's like, dude, look what we did. And third, from an investor perspective, imagine you are an investor, you're putting money, but you're gonna make money, and you don't need to wait a lot of time to make money. So that's also that's what I was thinking, because it's like, then we can ask more for that investor. We can ask for his friends. Then, it's like, then we can launch the other bigger programs. Yes.
I agree with that. And the beautiful part is, because it contains education and production, we can actually get nonprofit sector investment. So philanthropic investment too, not only pure entrepreneurs, but so I see, if we can prove this engine, whoa.
Yeah. Yes. So in that case, I'm saying, okay, let's suppose we run in 6 months. Then, of course, is the period of selling the houses, but it will not take a lot either. I don't think so that it's not like,
I mean,
because we will be strategic in the sense of where do we set up everything. But in that way, even in less than a year, and that's the reason I'm going up to the year, in this model. So I'm telling you up to the year, but actually the goal is to do it. Like if we can deliver everything in 9 months, well, that's amazing because we're delivering but we're telling everyone, man, this is a year project. But imagine a year, 3 houses, training program, everything. It's very awesome. And because each house is finished and then you can start selling it, it's like you already have assets and you already have things that you can see. You're not waiting a whole year like, what are they doing with my money? No, it's like, man, I'm seeing I can go there. And I think the investors that we need is people that want to see the process as well. Okay, I'm going to visit them. I'm going to check whether are they doing it. I want to get engaged into one of the training sessions, etc. So that's the whole concept around this. And I have calculated that for this, you need is $500,000. That's it. That's the goal. So it's like, yes, we will create at the end a single purpose LLC that is the one that will own the 3 houses that are going to be created by this program.
Regarding legal structuring, is there any conflict between the 501c3 gaining some of the benefits of this at the very end? Would you consider this would be like programmatic revenue within a program from an education program? Have you looked into that detail, or that's something?
No idea. Yet? That part I have no idea. Marcin.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, we have to figure it out. I think it would be doable, and if not, we have to talk about more about.
We have to find the way.
Capital structure.
And as you can see in this structure, we are seeing. We're saying to the investor, man, you will get 90% of the profits. So remember that in the previous ones that I proposed, that the big one was like 40% or the other was like 60%. This one I calculated towards 90 because this is more like we want people that are happy with their investment. Then like with this 3-house machine. Then in the second 3-house machine, we can change the model, but this one is the one to prove that everything is achievable. And in that way, well, it's manageable and it's attractive also.
Yeah, absolutely.
ROI perspective.
No, I like it. And this all absolutely gets into basic collaboration with people like Mr. Beast and stuff like that, where, we're taking extreme collaboration and transformation into edutainment territory. It's getting more people involved and distributing production, like teleoperated production, like actually right now. So we've got one guy who's actually collaborating on a remote teleoperated robotic arm.
That's so cool.
Imagine that comes.
I love robots and
yeah. So imagine that, and people like in the Builder Crash Course, you've got people actually collaborating because they've got the capacity to teleoperate. Yes. I mean, man, and that's how you get the people. That's how you bond the virtual and the real.
Yes, and that's how I think as part of the process. Because think about, we have Iconic Cat, we have the Swarm, and then if you have those experiments with robotics and operation, which I think is the evolution at the end of this system. Imagine this system a couple of years, you will have a couple of robots helping as well as part of it.
Absolutely. And simple things like little material handling robots. I just looked this up. There's a 90-kilogram capable rover, open source rover that's published. So things like that, where you're actually using that for real materials handling, say to move the finished module into storage or whatever. I mean, that's all, just use modern technology and AI. So right now we've got, as the world is crumbling, we've got the most opportunity to regenerate.
Yes. And then I call it 2 engines. Okay. So two wallets never mixed. For this, I'm gonna explain with this, this slide. So for example, the investor puts 512,000, which is lots, materials, insurance, fees, and remember that the goal is to get the tuition fee. That's our goal with this money. So remember, part of that money, especially 72,000, will go for marketing, so we can find the students that will pay the 15,000 and they will have 360,000. So OSE will earn the 360,000 from a 72K investment. So that's the thing. That in that way, that's what we're saying. It's like, you are not paying for their tuition. No. You are paying is one part is the marketing, and I have all divided all the items. But the element of the marketing is because then we will find the people that can fulfill the tuition and pay the full 360, which will be enough to run the program from a OSE perspective.
Yeah, in a normal program, the people were doing 2 days of work study. So based on competency, you get paid accordingly. And that's where the rapid learning facility data collection comes in. But the thing is, that was the regular program. Now that's not in here, but if the duration is 6 months, there could be other earning activity. Like say that this particular thing focuses on 6 months. I mean, maybe you could just do, 6 months we're actually earning, and you actually made, good money, absolutely enough to pay back for your tuition and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And way more.
And what I'm thinking is, in the 6 months, as you can see the division here of the investment of the 512. So 180 will go for materials because it's 3 houses that we're calculating. 114 for the site, which is the lots, the survey, the perk, everything. And I think this project, of course, should be in Missouri, because in that way we can find like good places that that really
within this cost structure.
Yes, correct. And then I put license, GC trades insurance, and then look, the recruiting campaign, which is the 72,000. I put a sponsor fee, which is what I want to earn from setting up this model. This I call it a sponsor fee. And a contingency and reserve. This is the way that I have calculated the 512,000. So as you can see, even from an investor perspective, you're saying, okay, most of my money is actually going for the houses, because you have the lots, the materials, and the licenses, correct? So that's the good thing. We're not telling him, man, let's give us money for education. No, let's give us money so we can build you 3 houses, okay, for 512,000 that you're gonna make money. So that's the impressive thing about this. From an investor.
That's great. Do you also have so you mentioned about the proposal construction set, this methodology. Do you have a similar method for how you actually, the whole capital structuring and all that, like that includes that, how you actually come up with a strategy for all the different parts moving together? Is that part of that?
No, that's more me thinking and rambling and thinking.
Yeah, because what I tell you, create an AI, like let's formalize that. So now we take over. That. I mean, make that accessible. Yeah,
because I'm all the time thinking, it's like, how do we achieve our goal? Okay. How do we achieve the goal with less money? Okay. How do we make money in the process? Okay. So that's the balance that I like. And I think with this 3 house model, the way that I structure and I send you the documents, I think it nails that in the triangles, because anyone can replicate this model, Marcin. That's what we want. That's what we want with people. Like if someone comes like, hey man, I want to replicate the model. Okay, let's do it. Let's structure something. So for example, if people can bring us investors, they can also make money on that part of the process. So that's the key part of how we can structure this.
Yeah, no, I'm impressed. Yeah, it's sophisticated. This is, I mean, this is better than anything I've seen in terms of like actually addressing the distributive needs, education, production in one.
Yeah, I think this comes also from my experience of analyzing and creating different business models all the time. So I'm always thinking in different business models from different organizations. So it's a combination. I'm pretty good at connecting dots.
How'd you learn that? Was that?
I think
that's
it's
just startup world.
Just building and failing and building and creating stuff, and I'm very curious, so I can analyze a saloon business model and then go to a construction site and analyze the construction site business model and then the tech side. And all will be attractive, and I always try to think in the numbers and how they do it and their goals. And I'm always thinking. Today I was going in my bike and I was saying to myself, man, I always try to optimize things. But that's the reason I think I have discussed with you at least 5 different ways to do this. But with these 3 houses, I'm more confident that we can achieve it faster.
I mean, but that's like, no shit, what else can we do but optimize? If the optimization is broad, it's not a narrow optimization, right? Yeah.
Correct. Correct. And in that way, okay, let me check here 1 second. Okay, so I put okay, I also put like why my fee is fixed in this model. Correct. Like the what I call the fee.
Yeah. Yep.
I know but I always thinking the signing fee. Because I also plan to make like a fee for creating this model, but also after each house is sold, depending on how much is sold for. So it's like a dividend kind of stuff. So it's like, but I put here, and this is aligned with what you said. This is disclosed to everyone. So like the whole model is very clear and should be clear for all the parties. So in that sense, by bringing the first investor, well, I can make 40K, but then after each house is sold, I can make 10K per house.
Are you doing the marketing? So what is your role? You're doing business development, the whole structuring, you're recruiting investors. Are you actually, in what way are you managing the actual builds? No, that's open source ecology, right?
Correct, that OSE, yes.
So you're the whole business thing, and you're also marketing, right? So marketing both the program and the whole. For me,
is the business and marketing, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So for example, I will help a lot in this side when we get the marketing 72K. That's something that we work together with that, how to really optimize that to achieve our goal of the 360,000. So that's part also of my job. Like, how do we attract people and how do we make them to really pay, to really understand the value of this? Because this is unique. Think about how much in America people pay. In America, it's like
and we should also, I mean, governance, absolutely transparent governance. Like even what you just said right now. Okay, we decide, we collaborate on how to maximize that 72K or whatever. But let's get into the weeds of that too. Okay, well, what if I don't agree with you? What if you think we should do it? I mean, who should have the final say or whatever? I'm open to whatever happens. As long as it's documented, we just simply stick to the procedures, you know?
Yes.
So it's a trustless, like you can implement this with anyone. There's nobody messing around and giving money under the door to their uncle or whatever.
Exactly. And that's the reason part of the budget is in this way. So it's really well defined where it's going. And for example, as soon as we, for example, we have the money, we have the 72K, we start thinking, we start strategizing, we say, okay, let's do it in this way. Someone will say, no, let's do Facebook ads, or let's do Google ads, or let's just do postcards, whatever. I think the approach is talking and then running small experiments. And that's the reason the logic is a 1-year investment, because I have also calculated a time for recruiting. Even though we have all the money now, we need to still recruit the people, you know? So
and And I also think one more important is governance of the boundary. Like, okay, what if the volunteers that come in and do a lot of work and stuff like that? There have to be very clear procedures how we deal with that. And my immediate answer to that would be, okay, help out. You can benefit from because people are going to be, oh, do I get a cut? Well, no, that's not in the model, but you get a cut of the model because the model is open source. I don't know, like however we want to, but we don't just want to make it explicit, not implicit. Like, okay, because obviously people are going to help. We're always about opening boundaries and collaborating. We don't want to set it up such that, oh, now we're totally closed off from input.
No, but actually, for example, you haven't told me. Let's suppose we have the 360,000.
Yeah.
Which is not my part, but it's an OSE part. That's how you establish your budget to really achieve the goal of training everyone in those 6 months. I think that's where volunteers or any people that you bring additionally, you will have a budget for them.
Yep. Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about the 360.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we have to get into some of the details of exactly, the devil's in the details as far as like the allocations. I think the governance part, capital structuring, governance, that, and the details of where the money goes. There's some details.
Yes.
To be
and then this is what I put what OSE will receive cohort by cohort. So the tuition fee, the 360 per cohort, the recruiting engine, the 72K, share of distribution of the project, so that you have to check. Because remember, the goal of the first project is, and we're saying to the investor, he's going to get 90% of the profits. The other 10% of the profits is going to be for OSE.
Yeah. And we can also, actually, I got some feedback from one of our advisors on that we do a flat fee, like say 50%, and we're liable for that, because that actually would super simplify things. Like they don't have to think, oh, 10%, am I going to make it? Maybe like for the first one, what do you think of that? Do you think that a flat fee would also be desirable? Because that way there's no misincentive of, if they want to, if they have the, if that's the case, they're going to say, oh, well, you better sell it for more.
You're right, because actually that is similar to what I proposed for myself, correct? So literally, this is what I said.
Yeah.
I don't have a percentage. This is my fee, for example. I said a 40K signing and then 10K per house, period. This is So maybe with OSE, we should also structure something similar. And you're right. So from an investor perspective, everything is clearer in the sense like, oh yeah, I know how much I'm paying. Yes, I think so.
Clarity. Yeah, I think that's the advantage. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Plus the incentive, like they're gonna want to extract, as like maybe jack the price up, and they'd be putting pressure on that. I mean,
of course. Yeah. If they want to sell the house and someone really pays a lot of, well, that's great. It's like, that's what they're gonna make all the money.
But also like cap that from being a perverse incentive, like them in the process, making the house expensive is not consistent with OSE goals. Our goal is to make the house cheaper, right? So we want to make sure we address that. Mm-hmm.
True. Yeah, we have ranges, of course.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be crazy. And well, let me see what else. Let me check. Yeah, so these are the choices and the logic and the design.
Okay, tell me about those. Tell me.
So remember, for example, we discussed like the pre-sale of your house before. Here we're saying, no, we're gonna finish the house. So it's like, that's the reason it's a 3-house engine that we're building. So it's for an investor, not only if that wants to live, maybe could live or not, but we're actually one is people that want to sell the house. That's the reason.
What's the logic between you pre-sell it versus spec? Explain that. Why not pre-sell or a mix?
Because technically, it's like we are not pre-selling to him. We are building for him. House.
Not to him, but I'm saying pre-sell to somebody else.
Yeah, no, that we can do it with other people. But think about from the investor's mind. Yeah, from the investor's mind is he's partnering with us so we can build on spec his houses so he can pre-sell them or sell them, correct? So it's like, That's part, but yeah, but that's from the investor, the guy that's gonna put the 500,000. That's what I'm thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think actually if we, yeah, okay, go ahead.
1 second. Yeah, I check it out. Let me just check. Okay, the 3 houses is because, and you just validated my hypothesis of if it is possible to build 3, because I was thinking what will be the number of maximum houses that we can build in those 6 months of training, which is different from someone that has already been trained. And that's
right
with the, because if they can finish a house, I don't know, let's suppose 3 months very intensive training, and then they build the first house, then they build the second house. So it's like on month 4 the first house, on month 5 the second, something like that. Or you could tell me, no, Francisco, we really need is the 5 months, and then the last month is the building of the 3 house. So that there are many ways to do it. But I think 3 is a nice number from an investor's perspective, and from the capacity and capability.
I mean, in fact, as I said, that it's during the training program, the cadence is 6 weeks per house. So this actually meets this perfectly.
Very interesting.
I mean, that was our initial statement. It's like, if you've got 24 people working 2 days, this is actually 2 days in the actual site build, right? Then the cadence is 6 weeks. That's with 24 people, and hence the need for the 24 people.
Correct. But then that was my thought was, okay, you're assuming you already trained the people. It's not like if I bring someone today, and it's not like in a month we'll learn how to build a house.
I understand, and that is where we're breaking ground in terms of the modular and radical simplification, where people can become productive pretty much immediately, and pending the higher quality control and things like automated quality control with cameras set up in the shop, that you can automate that kind of stuff. And that's all part of Iconic CAD. That will have the quality control procedures that enable this to do this. So the onus is on Iconic extreme education. I mean, that's the burden on us.
Yes, correct. But that's the beauty, because I know from what we have talked how fast we can be, but also it's better to promise something that we know we have space,
Yeah.
That's the reason I was the 3 houses. That's what I'm thinking, 3 houses. Yes.
Yeah.
Of course, if during the process you can build more, of course, that's great. But the goal is the 3 houses in every.
Let me give you the numbers. If you talk about the hours, the 6-week cadence is 3,000 hours per house. A skilled builder takes 1,000 hours, so 3x over a skilled builder is, in my view, realistic.
Nice. Yeah, that's pretty cool, and that's what we need to show. That's the whole point of this.
Yeah, and we can take data and.
Yes. Then I did some calculations for the sale of the houses depending on the price.
Can you go back one and explain so we kind of delved into the 1 point. What about the other? So 3 houses.
Yeah, 3 houses now. The choice 5 is white 2 draws and all those conditions. Oh yes. So this is this is more about let me check. No, it's not in this one. It's in the other. Yeah, remember that we have what I call like 2 wallets. So one is the wallet of the project, and the other is the wallet of the school that comes from the money of the project. So that's the logic that we're telling them. So it's like you are not paying for education, even though you're paying for education, but that's not the whole point. It's like you're paying so we can partner together in a new way to build houses faster. And that transforms the way that people build houses in America and then in the world. So there's a different way to say the same thing, but in a more business-driven capacity. So that's the logic of the 2 things. And the other is the 512, and the 512 really just comes from
I like that it's an intermediate figure, not millions, not 1 house, but 3. I think it's a good sweet spot.
So that's the logic. Then I did what I call here like scenarios. Let's suppose you sell the house, and how much profit will you make if you are the investor? So for example, I put houses at 200, houses at 220 or houses at 240, which is aligned to what you're saying about the prices of not going too crazy.
Yeah. And as
Which,
we said, we might say, yeah, those are the scenarios. We might say, okay, well, let's do a fixed
yes,
15 or
exactly.
something.
Exactly. So in that way, of course, we're not saying, and this is good because in this model, it's better because we're partnering to build something together, but we're not promising you any profit. Like the profit will come for selling, but so we don't enter the securities arena. Because remember, the securities arena and all the crowdfunding and all these things is you're promising a future profit. We are never promising a future profit. We're promising that we're gonna deliver the 3 houses so you can sell them, and we're gonna have everything ready. And that's the reason we have scenarios depending of what happens, correct?
So well, but hold on a second. But you said we're gonna sell them.
Well, it depends on the investor, actually.
Yeah.
So, but we're gonna partner with realtors. That's not a problem for us. Remember that at the end is like, and the realtor will take its normal cut, whatever. We can help in that process as well, helping design systems that we take all the content that we have created, so we can promote, and maybe some people will just be interested to buying just for the sake of this process, But yeah,
I would say right now, instead of counting on 36K in realtor fees, we should spend that money on developing marketing capacity and hire somebody.
Okay.
Why? Because I think the marketing fees right now, just the realtor costs, they're quite excessive for what people do. Really? I mean, of course, this is going to piss off all the realtors, but
makes sense.
I think. And in fact, the law has already changed where it should, like they have this in the US, they have this buyer effectively pays 6%.
Yes.
Period. There's new laws that say, no, the buyer's fee should be negotiated by the seller. But no, in practice, it never happened. So the intent was to take it down from 6%, which could be a lot of money on an expensive house. The idea was, well, let's lower those costs altogether when there's not a lot of work on, whatever. So, but that, like have you heard of this law that just passed? This was like in 2020.
Yeah, I heard recently.
Yeah. But we want to actually make that for real, make that law happen for real. And the way we could do it is to basically, I mean, open competition. Like we're going to develop effective ways.
But I think this is an added value. It's not something that we need to promise. That's my point. So the investor. So if during the 6 months, we say, man, we have developed.
Yeah, we could say. I mean, we just say.
We sell them in the meeting, like, man, that's what we also want. We don't need, but
it's by whatever means necessary. If it takes a realtor to sell at a 6K cost per, it's 12K cost per. Okay, can we do better? We always want to ask that question.
Exactly. So now
I think look at the incentive structure though. Then, like if it's a fixed percent, then the onus is on OSE to keep radically increasing efficiencies. That's what we want to do, right?
Yes.
So that's the fixed return model helps to generate efficiencies, because otherwise, if it's not fixed, all the incentives are to sell the house as high as possible, because the investor wants that to happen. So, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. And as you can see, even in like from lower platform profit to the big ones is good profit that they could make.
Oh man, yeah, this should be so doable.
Yeah. And I really like that what you're saying. So I created like the 12 months by phases.
Yep.
So for example, we found investor, we sign and do all the legal stuff for a month. I believe that more than a month should not take. Then he puts some money, not all the money, some money. So we need to calculate exactly how much of the money. Because, for example, we don't need the money of materials now, correct? We will just need it the moment that we're going to start to build that house. So that's what we also tell him. It's not like, oh, we're just gonna take your money from materials and keep it in a bank account. No. It's like, give us the money that we need for the specific phase, and then when we start building, then we will ask for you the money of materials, which is a good amount of the budget, actually.
Yep.
Which is 20-30% of the budget. Then, so we do two processes in parallel. You can see the land and site packages and the student recruiting. Those are done in parallel. So it's like, okay, now let's find land to buy. Where do we buy the land?
Yeah.
You know, what are the permits? What are the process? You think, man, we found a nice place in this. This is the place that we're gonna, perfect. So, and then we recruit people at the same time. And then we are ready in both sense. So the good thing for the investor perspective is like, okay, what I'm getting? Oh, you're getting your land. Your land is the land of this organization. So it's yours. We're not taking anything from that sense. And second, you're seeing the whole process. And then we do the cohort. Of course, the goal of this prepare and land recruit is to shorter the months. Like if we can do it ASAP, we will do it ASAP. But this is just like a number. We will, at the end, we need to accommodate the months. And then the cohort, and then the builds. And as you can see here, which is kind of similar to what you were talking, buyer wait list and sales, because we can start to do the process in parallel as soon as we have built the first house, or where we're completing the first house, to start selling the first house. And then the repayment to the investor and the closing. This is, yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Any questions, thoughts about this?
Beautiful. The other thing is, for the students themselves, we should should have a pitch. Like maybe put a page for the students, like, well, that's student marketing for the students, but clarity on if they're spending $15K for tuition for the year, what's their return to?
Yeah.
So if we don't do the actual house build is where they're getting paid for that, there has to be some way, or maybe not. Like, we'll see what exactly is the program. The clarity has to be there. What are they putting in? What are they getting out besides education? Or is there the work study part? Or how do we do that? Or maybe like build another home that they can be incentivized to split between the students, whatever.
Yeah. Because think about, let's compare to other processes.
Yeah.
Because the time is not going to be a lot, and you're learning, and technically your graduation is the build of the 3 houses. That should be the real graduation. So part of the learning and processes. But if during those 6 months, that's the good thing, because we have money, where the engine is ruling, we can think about a strategy later to add, but that would be great, but it should not be included. Like what I'm thinking is the 3 house build process. It's the graduation process. Like, how do you know you're a real, and we have to find a good marketing builder name, is that you build the 3 houses. You're not getting paid to build the 3 houses because that's part of your education process. So that's different. But compare it to any other program that you need years to acquire the skills to build.
Well, that's the whole thing, yeah. Integrated house builder in a year versus... And if you have this, I mean, we're literally promising 10x acceleration of learning rate because of the processes, the CAD assist, the AI assist, because of the swarm nature, which increases your learning speed, the rapid learning facility where you have all the kitted out rapid learning stations, which is no different than what regular schools do, except our scope is bigger, and you get hit from, here's the design, build, engineering side. So you're trying to get into all those 3, not just one in one trade. You're 20 trades, 3, the engineering, design, build part, you're learning, and on top of that, learning's heavily in about AI assist.
Yeah, and what we can, part of the training is, of course, we're doing this because we want to hire you or to partner with you or to do something with you after you graduate. So that's the whole point of this logic of the.
Yeah, exactly. Like people running workshops, like, the actual operations for the builder crash courses or other operations like this that are started in other places.
Yeah, because remember, all of these will give us enough data points and things to tell so we can convince the investors from the other phases. Correct? Because now we have something to show them. Now, instead of just sending a pitch deck, we tell them, hey, let's meet at the house that we built.
Yeah, exactly.
That's simple, that's more convincing. And we build with these guys. Okay, now what else do you need? Okay, look. So I think that the sell becomes easier and easier and easier.
Yeah, I mean, we're creating an engine to address the cold start problem.
Exactly. And then I put what I call the risk and the mitigations. The key thing is the houses, the finished homes must sell. So this is very important to find a good land and to have all the legal permits and to have a good strategy so we can really sell the house.
When you say licensed trades, explain that. What do you have in mind, and then we can see what that means. So
licensed trade is more like if, and this is a question for you, from a Missouri perspective, do the builders of the house need a specific license to build that house?
Yeah, I mean, it depends where you are. You always have, depending where you are, you typically need the licensed plumber and electrician on a job and a general contractor, those three. And we can find collaborations to do that. Now, we would do most of the work and then these people would be collaborators in that process.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm talking about, licensed trades. Like everything should be insurance as well and contingency. This is what I'm saying.
Insurance, is that the requirement by the builder or by us?
By the build, like
by the funder.
Yes, correct. But more like when you're building. No, actually, insurance comes is when you're requesting money for building, correct?
Well, I wouldn't ask for insurance from the investor.
No, actually, one question for you. Because this is like a trade school, I guess the students will be insured, correct?
Yeah.
Like if something happens while you're building.
Yeah. There's legal issues around. Yeah, we have to.
So that's the key part of the insurance. Like if someone cuts their hand.
Yeah.
It's like it's insured, no problem. Everything is handled, and no one goes bankrupt.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is very important. The second, the wait list. So as you're saying, I think this is aligned to what you say. We don't need a realtor. We can literally, as soon as we get the money and start the process, start pre-selling the house or pre-selling the houses.
I think the key to that is we had that viral video last on Instagram. Like, I haven't touched Instagram since then. I'm really concerned about the freaking algorithms because I don't know. I think so for this process, we want to basically warm up our lists again because we've got a bunch of that. But man, like that part about keeping up with the algorithms is just ridiculous, and I want to try to find a way around that. I mean, but it's just disturbing. Like, in theory, it's possible that because I haven't posted for so long, like we have no audience. Like if they decide, we have no audience, even though we had a 30 million viral video, a few months ago. So I'm concerned about it, and it's definitely like one of those corrupt things. So, well, what's to say about it? How to solve that? Well, the proactive solution here is just ongoing. Like once we get in on this, we just start warming up, and through through the regular communications and some automated processes there, we want to do that, just automate a bunch of that. I'm sure you can help with a lot of that, right?
And of course, as soon as we have, for example, the budget of the marketing budget, part of the strategy is to partner with someone that is good in the algorithm, because you're right, the algorithm is very complex. It needs a specific set of skills. And we can request some help from people to do pro bono, to give us advice on how to really tackle the algorithm, because it's challenging. Like I always struggle with the algorithm as well. So I have to confess that that's one of my most difficult challenges. the freaking algorithm.
And how do you create something that's beyond that? I mean, that's once we have enough power and reach. Like, do we actually end up in developing independent channels of communication, or?
No, everyone has tried. No, if you're not in Facebook, if you're not in YouTube, if you're not in Instagram or TikTok, people don't know you. And remember, the key thing about that's the power of the algorithm, actually. Unless you are like a government, or you're like,
No, but at the same time, like once you start developing your own email list, that could be.
Yeah, that's true. Like you have a community.
Once you've got
different, you have an active community of people.
That's the thing to look at. Like, man, at the end of the day, it's like I want to be just be careful about how we interact with that.
I agree. It's more about how the community engages, and it's the community that also uses the algorithm. It's not like us using that, but it's the community. So that's
okay.
That's good for another day of discussion.
Yep.
The other part that I put is, I know aware of USDA Section 502.
Is that the
direct loan program for low income households if they want to buy rural homes? So this may be help for the pre-sale, like maybe we can promote in that way, but this fits exactly for that line of financing. So, yes, and anchor the first comp, meaning the good thing is we build the first house, and our goal is to sell it as fast as possible. So it's like each milestone is achieved, each goal compounds on the other one and creates more trust. That's the what I'm talking about, anchor. The
other thing is also Federal Housing Authority, and outside of I'm looking up what Section 502 is, but there's FHA and veterans loans. So there's other.
So the US has so many loans opportunities that we can tackle and promote and find like those people that could be great options for them. Now another thing, another thing is the vision. So we start with this, what I call the cohort 1, the proof. Then we can build the other ones until we achieve the village, and then we can have the millions and millions.
I mean, this is basically the cold start here. From after this, I'm not too concerned what's going to happen. Like if we can prove this, we're so set.
That's it. That's it. It's like we prove it. Just visit the house. It's simple. It's like just interview the people that work with us. Check the process. Everything is online. Go to Iconic. So it's like everything is gonna be there, available for everyone to just replicate. That's the beauty. Okay, so some questions that people will have. But this is more like student building houses. This is more like from a legal perspective. I don't know in the US, like if they can do it, like how's the legal? Because
I think it's fine. It's student built housing projects. I mean, it's part of education. That I think that fits. And of course, you want to be careful of like make sure the concept and wording is correct and all that. I don't see that as a. I think other schools. I'm sure there's many other schools that the students actually build a real house as part of their training.
Yeah. Actually, I think there's not so many, which I think is cooler.
No, there's not going to be a lot, but I'm sure there's some. Like there's some other precedents that we can say, no, this is there's other schools doing this already. It's a known way to do it.
Okay, the second is why hasn't OSE has done it itself? And I'm putting, because OSE is an engineering and education organization. It's not like a sales machine. And that's why we're embedded.
I think that's a good way to answer it. We just didn't get there yet.
Yeah. That's the reason I call it, this layer is the vehicle. Another question is, what if the homes don't appraise? But this is more like a market thingy. So because we're saying that at the end, think about this guy. The guy is putting 170,000 per house. I think 200 will be the minimum. What do you think that the house could be sold?
That's below market rate.
Okay, which is great.
That's good.
Yeah,
it's already there. We already did it for the last one. The last one was 212. Sold for 212.
There you go. So that's that, because that's gonna be.
That was in a crappy market, like real downturn in an economy and stuff. So we already know 212, and it's probably going to be more.
Nice. And the fourth is, what does the sponsor make? Meaning my sponsor fee, which is the 40,000 plus 10 per house. Yes, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The other, you said to change the model of 90-10 to just also create a fix for OSE as well.
I'd say.
Which I agree. And yeah, that's it. That's what we had in the two presentations. And this is like a process. So we can start with LOI.
Walk me through this.
Yeah, so this is the process. So I was thinking that we sign an LOI just between OSE and me. So I can talk also from an OSE perspective, because right now I just say I'm your OSE, but like, who gives me a legal, like validity? I pitch investors, start sending emails, talking to people, LinkedIn, whatever. And the day that we found, we signed with an investor a 2-page term sheet. That should be the goal. So far, the money will be zero. And then after we have that investor, then the goal is to file that LLC, which will be an investor-owned LLC, correct? And
wait, the investor owns that LLC?
Yes. Yeah, because remember that the only way is only if you do the 90-10 thingy that I told you. Sorry. Because who owns the LLC? Whoever's, let me check. Yeah, for example, if you keep the 90-10 here, it's because the profits of the LLC who do belong to. That's where
now does that go away if it's a fixed thing, or no? We still need the LLC there.
Because from tax perspective, from an investor, it's always good to have the houses under an LLC to be sold. Normally, that's the strategy for investors. But that doesn't mean that we're part of that LLC, but that LLC is the one that gets the money, and then it sends the money, for example, to OSE.
Right. Yeah. Would the investor be involved in actually setting it up, or that's part of our due diligence?
It will depend on the investor, actually.
Okay.
Yes, that's entirely investor dependent.
There's no such thing as an investor buying something from a nonprofit, like from a 501c3, and if not, why not?
I
mean, 501c3s can sell products.
Okay, so that will be like buying the 3 houses.
Yeah. Well, I mean, without invoking an LLC, I was thinking that if OSE runs the show, they collect the money, we collect the money, and then we just pay them.
Yeah.
OSE pays them. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what the reason for a separate LLC is. There maybe, I don't know. This is more legal structure, capital architecture stuff.
Yeah, I think the investor is like, okay, I'm gonna put my money. Where do I put the money? Correct. So you're saying, okay, OSE provided me a service, correct? So I'm paying for that service. That's what you're saying, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I think in that sense,
I mean, the simplest.
The service will be to build me 3 houses, correct? That should be the service.
Yes. Yes, that's the service, and it's part of, and the way we can do that within a 501c3, if that is directly mission related. If this is not unrelated work, we're not selling hot dogs to this guy. No, we are a an education organization. We're delivering education by training people. And by the way, we produce houses as a result of that in the education program.
Okay, yeah, no, I think that is doable, because from the investor is like, okay, what I'm gonna get my 3 houses. That's what I'm gonna get. That's what I should. And it's good because it's aligned to, I'm putting my money, I'm getting my 3 houses. That's it. You know. Yes. Yeah, I think it's totally.
Yeah. We'll have to verify, make sure that's all legit and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. This is my thought process on the 3-house machine, I call it.
Okay, so we've got the 3-house machine proposal. Next, Iconic CAD. 341 modules need to be done. Can you get involved in that in any way? Like, what do we do? Because I mean, the prerequisite, just for clarity, prerequisites for the rapid build speed is having the full documentation that comes from Iconic CAD. So now what?
Are you talking about this one, the Genome 310?
No, not that one. No, the housing,
the construction set.
Iconic housing.
Iconic housing library. This one.
Yep, this. We need this library so that we can produce, like, say we go into a particular environment, we have these particular ways to build or requirements. This covers absolutely everything from small homes, large homes, workshops, other buildings.
Okay, this is what I can do. What I will do is, like, I will design an AI that first will understand all of this. Then, because it's like a lot. Second, it will organize it. And third, it will create it in a way that is visualized and you can give feedback if it is correct or not. So in that way, we can have, imagine, instead of going to a wiki, correct, and clicking connection to the sewer kit and then the button, correct, and then this opens the document, the build number 5 with all these things. I'm literally thinking it's more like a software layer that that you go, you click, and then the site starts to guide you. But we will always have like a place so we can give feedback to the system to tell if what is showing is right or wrong and why and what to fix. So I would call it like the Iconic CAD AI software. This is what I'm thinking.
Well, what are the dangers of replications, replication, or just redundancy?
The advantage of doing this is that a human being needs to verify everything that the software is showing, correct? So an example, the software you is showing you about this icon, PV rails, correct? So it shows you this, and it tells you, and you click and it says, oh yeah, to do the PV mount detail, do X, Y, and Z.
Yep.
Okay. And then you say, okay, what is next? And then it shows you something. So in that specific moment, you can give feedback by just writing to him, or not even writing. We can put some voice so you can talk.
I love it. Love it.
So you can, and think about this, because this is what I research all the time. Yeah, because let me show you something.
I like it, man. I mean, with AI now, like all these, because we've got the source, now we can just build everything out.
Correct. Because literally, this is what I'm experimenting all the time with all my projects, and that's how I can give feedback to my own systems. So just to give an example, this is gonna be released very soon. It's a new system that I'm creating. And as you can see in this system, this actually is a very unique system that I created that allows you to create slides just by talking, and in real time, it will generate these slides.
Oh, how are you doing that? What are you using as the engine underneath?
So one part is called speech to text. So I use an STT, which is a model that first listens to you and then transcribes.
Yep.
Then I use another model that organizes the data And then I use another model that creates the layers. And then I use another model that verifies that everything is working. So it's like 5 agents working together at the same time.
But you're talking about generating a diagram or a slide?
Yes.
What's the actual rendering engine, or like the thing that creates the image?
With that one is imagine it's HTML. We're creating HTML images.
Okay, so you can use any AI to do that?
Yes, technically an AI. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
which one do you prefer?
For example, this to make it the fastest, I'm using. Let me show you. No, because the fastest in the world is called Cerebras. I know you're aware of Cerebras.
Oh, I actually haven't.
Yeah, so imagine these are the competitors from NVIDIA. What they do is that they develop their own, what they call wafers, which is a new type of GPUs. And just to give you an example.
What? So this is a competitor to NVIDIA?
Yeah, just to give you an example, when you chat with ChatGPT, it can go to 200 tokens per second, okay, which is very fast. But if you use one of the models, I can go to 1,000 tokens per second, up to 3,000 tokens per second with them. So that's how they could be very fast. Now, the good thing about what are they, they always use open source models, no? So they are using DeepMind Gemma for 31 billion. So Gemma. So for example, this slide generator that I built is with Gemma for 31 billion. And the reason I use Cerebras is because it's the fastest in the world, because of my use case. In other use cases, you don't need to be so fast. So you can use other models, correct? So you can use Qwen, you can use DeepSeek, you can use, so that it will not make a lot of added value. But in terms of our CAD system, because we need is more like a smart system, I think we will gonna do it with a Qwen model. That it will make more sense, because we don't need it to think like super fast. But as I was showing you in my UX, you will have, imagine, here is CAD in the middle, and then in the right, you can just put your comments, correct? So you will say, oh, this process that you show me, is not correct. Look the diagram of, and then you can paste the URL, very specific, and then send. So in that way, we check all these elements from all the feedback, and then we incorporate in a new version. So this is gonna be the process that is literally an AI building a system based on human feedback to make the system real and optimal. Yes.
So on one side, it's you visualize stuff and then you comment on it, and
that's for the version of the developer side. In the other is just like more like clicking around, you know, or more like talking to it and asking questions like, hey, what do I do next? Like, oh, I plan to build this wall. What do I do this? So you can take the photo.
Right. So what layer are you working on? Actually generating instructions, because there's a lot of moving pieces here. On one side, the first thing is to schematize.
Yes.
So you create schemas, compilers, and validators for each module, right?
Yes.
And then you associate an icon with it. What I envision is the interface in the simplest sense would be the icon with parameters. You can change the parameters in the graphical package, even Inkscape or a better user interface, and then drag it, drag a bunch of these. You're getting actual real CAD. So that's the concept of the iconic CAD.
Yeah.
You need to generate schemas, compilers, validators, and icons, and then a bunch of other assets. But that's like the engine underneath it. So which aspect of this is this helping with? Your visualization? Is that just the development of the actual schemas and things, or where are you at?
I think, let me check.
Yeah, because this is a big, complex thing.
Yeah. I think is more in the process, meaning
Oh, process of build.
Yes, the process of build. Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Now that's one layer. I was going to prepare that in the sense of I was just going to start a few docs where like the critical part about build is understanding interfaces. So if you've got one of these items here, what's the interface to the next thing? And from that, you can start deriving build instructions and things. But then at first you need like, okay, here's the overall build process. And in some of these, you actually have links like in the technique section. I think there's which is towards the top. I think there's some documents there that show the build process, like the actual outline of the build process.
Genealogy? Maybe the genealogy?
No, that's
as the history.
It'll be in a category. There's going to be like build technique. Like what is there?
Technique here.
Technique. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of items there. Is there anything that relates to?
Yes, for example, you have amazing presentations here on the process.
No, that was, I would want one. I mean, we have some of these documents that show the overall build process and stuff like it. Once you start parsing this, you'll find it, but.
Okay. Yeah, because if you can have, I was thinking more, if I'm a builder.
Yeah.
And I need to build that system, what do I do? That's my thought process. Then I
build the system.
And it guides me like, okay, now take this. Okay, this is the wall. Okay, now go cut this. Okay, this is the
that's like basically an instructional with step-by-step, like instructionals for setting up a new computer or whatever. The ultimate thing is a build book. You take Iconic CAD, and part of the Iconic CAD is to print out build instructions, cheat sheets, etc. And then you just generate the whole book. You can have that as a physical copy for a person that doesn't use computers. You can have that on your laptop or whatever. But the ultimate product is you're building 100 modules. Here's the instructions for module 1, module 2, module 3, then how they go together, etc. So that would be like, what you're describing is another way to represent that. So you're talking about the representation layer.
Yes.
The
representation layer. Yes.
And then one very specific thing is, let me show you this. But the real, some of the very tangible things, like when the rubber hits the road, you're going to be at things like construction documents. Here's what. So AI is ultimately going to spit this out to you. Look at construction documents. Because that's the first thing you take to the building department. It'll get you like these 16, 20 pages in that infographic.
Yeah.
So this would take you either a few $1,000s if you go to an architect. If it's a custom home, it'll be 10 or 20,000. Here it's free in 5 minutes.
True. So right now, if someone goes here, and it has all the elements and all the construction documents that you need.
Yeah, this is what we bring to the building department for a permit.
Okay.
You got to give them like, here's the basics, maybe a few more pages. You definitely need like a site plan, elevations, floor plan, electrical plan. If we're using our PV system, for example, in the St. Joe, we have to attach the engineering diagrams for the PV system.
Yeah.
So this is a basic example. That's just generated by ChatGPT, like in a few minutes,
Yeah, but it's pretty good.
So visually, that makes sense for tangible products. Now, if you have the full Iconic CAD for the house, you drag and drop and design it. Now you click generate the construction documents, and here it is. So that's some of the outputs of the Iconic CAD.
True.
Just FYI, like you have modules, but then you would have, say those 341 modules, but then you can also, then you have assemblies and then final products. So then assembly, for example, might be all the walls, first, second floor and roof, whatever. That could be an assembly, but for that you would use a schema, that takes now, okay, here's the first floor walls, here's the second floor walls, and here's the roof, and now it would attach them together and make any modifications as needed. So there's schemas and compilers on different levels. 1 is the modules, 2 is the assemblies, 3 is the final products. So a final product could be like a 1-floor house, it might be a workshop, that's a full product. Those come out of those 341. So that 341 could now generate the whole campus for the buildings, the hangar, rapid learning facility, etc. Or a biodigester, or a renewable energy system.
Yeah. Okay, very nice. So many elements.
So that's an example of a fabrication drawing, like what you saw there with all the different dimensions. So you want to program the AI to say, okay, give me all the critical dimensions automatically. Right now you can do that in FreeCAD. It pretty much you have to do it by hand. It takes like an hour per.
Wow.
So here once again it's 1 second per.
Yeah.
Or a fraction of a second per.
Yeah, because it will depend on each design.
Yeah, like for example, a wall might have to have these special dimensions. If you're talking about, how do you build the heat pump module, it would have these critical dimensions. So be parameterized to represent those.
Very nice. Okay. Okay, very good. Nice. So next steps.
What are we doing next?
So, okay, so you just have to confirm me again. Remember that I sent you the documents for the tree house? Just check the numbers and let me know if any number is not, or how we can change it or whatever.
Yeah, the only change I think the only real relevant one is, I think the fixed percentage to the investor.
Okay. So also,
I mean, everything there is, it's roughly, I sent you that one email. I don't think there's really any changes. I mean, I think it's pretty good.
So that will be, and what is the legal name of OSE?
Open Source Ecology.
Yeah.
Inc.
It's an Inc.
We're incorporated as a non-stock corporation in Missouri.
Interesting. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do is, based on that, I will Open Source Ecology.
The front page of the website, opensourceecology.org, it has all that info under corporate. Well, let me send you that.
Okay, good. So yeah, based on that, I will just send you a document as an agreement of this project, so we can work together on that. And then I prepare the presentation for the investor. And then you give me feedback on that. And with that, then we have green light, and I start knocking doors. And we start knocking doors with this model.
Timing, more about timing. So depending on a deployment of Iconic CAD, okay, so don't forget about the dependencies. So the dependencies are Iconic CAD hiring a site lead to build out the remaining infrastructure so we can house the students here and all that, because we have to build that infrastructure. Did you forget about that part?
No worries, because if we have money, we can accelerate processes. So, that's what I always think.
Well, but I mean,
yeah, because
that money does not go to infrastructure build, though. That's right. So
no, but
I mean, yeah, we could probably make it work. We have to be careful about deliverable timelines.
No,
though.
but think about it this way. Remember that we have a marketing budget to get students. So
yes,
we will start paying, and with the money that they pay, then you can accelerate things like Iconic.
Yeah.
So think about that. That's what I'm thinking about the money. So it's like the OSE money that will allow us to accelerate things and to call for more volunteers to scale this.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like with Iconic CAD, I think when we can do a push where we actually get hundreds or thousands of people collaborating on it, because there's 361 or 341. What was the number? 341, 241. What was that? Okay, what's the final number? Oh, I forget the final number, but I think it's 241.
For the what?
So we're talking about the Iconic CAD housing library. That you've got that. So now you've got to go through the process of here's each schema, each compiler, each validator, and now you got to go through iterations of that to one, debug it, and two, to create sufficient schemas to generate all the assets, fabrication drawings, build instructions, BOMs, the icons themselves, or whatever. Like there's a whole bunch of assets, say 5 to 10 for each schema, for each item. So each of these has to be developed and vetted and tested, right? So that's what I'm saying, like the hundreds or 1,000 people, like if we could get basically literate people who understand, okay, here's all the modules because they're defined, like what you're doing, like your feedback platform. Yeah, that can go pretty rapidly, but it's a lot of work because there's 241 items.
Yeah, I see.
Right, there's a lot of work. Yeah,
but it's something. Remember all these activities because we're doing in parallel. So
yeah, exactly.
It's
true. It's true.
So I will not worry about that. The key is we need the investor this year so we can start and accelerate the process. That's the goal. Yeah. So yeah, with that, I will just send you tomorrow an agreement on what we talked today. You can check it out. Let me know your thoughts, and with that, we can officially start searching for investors.
What do you think the timeline on that is going to be like? Let's consider some potential timelines.
I'm going to send you the document tomorrow. Okay. I know what is the process.
Yeah. Okay. I guess we can save that for next as far as timelines, but let's make sure the timelines are
aligned for
legit.
Your number one word is Iconic CAD, correct?
Yeah, that's the number one priority. That I have to explain the Iconic CAD gating theory here. In fact, let me get you a document I wrote on that to make sure you consider that when we're going forward. Gating.
Have you done like a mini version of the Iconic CAD, like one module to see?
Oh yeah, we've done. If you look at go to either Collins or Colby's repos, you can actually test out the system for designing walls.
Where? Can you send me the link?
Yeah.
So I can see. And let me bring some water.
Look through Collins' log. He's got a working demo. I'm not sure if I haven't looked at Colby's work enough to see if he's got the actual demo, but I know Colin did. There's naming convention. Oh yeah. Take a look at this. Gating canon. Bottom line, no builder crash courses, production house builds, replication projects, or scale construction program proceed until Iconic CAD is sufficiently complete to generate the required construction documentation.
Which link do I click?
The last one, first gating.
Okay, 1 second.
So what I want to emphasize is one of the most important lessons over the last few years or decade. Rapid builds are crazy possible, but in order to do that, the availability
is documentation generation. Interesting.
Yeah, you can't replicate this without complete documentation.
I agree. And okay, but where do I click? I don't see any like demo.
Oh, okay. Demo. Go to Colin's log and go to, let's see.
Yeah, show me something so people can see it. That
I have to download it and run it, so I can't do it like real quick. But so you see Colin log, go search through that. He's got let me see. Oh yeah. There's a video there actually. He's got one. Let's see, where was this? June.
Yeah, because what you're saying is interesting. If the bottleneck is documentation generation, but also AI is very good at that.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. It's completely doable. Well, let's make sure that we've got it at the level where not only I could do that right now, right? Like,
yeah, I know.
Right.
That's my point.
So the question mark is
that, don't know the intricacies of building.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So to give you an example, even if we hire the construction lead, first of all, he's going to have to generate all the documentation that he's going to need for his crew. But think about how that exponentiates if even the people that work with him, interns, others, builders, if they could generate, okay, now I know exactly, like, not only how to generate, but even like, okay, we've got to build this kitchen. Well, we know it's going to be there. Who's going to design it? Well, no, you could actually like design it like real quick. You can not only design it, but generate the documentation so that now any of his workers that work with us could also be involved in documenting further documentation.
Correctness.
Let's see, but yeah, look at that. That's kind of, yeah, like that. So you're basically drag and dropping into a 3D platform, and then it generates it for you with previews and stuff. That's for example at the walls level, and then you do that for all the other systems. Like if you want to put in electrical, it could either do it all automatically for you because it's like that's known techniques, or you can put boxes wherever you want.
AI behavior. Let me check the AI behavior. Yes, that's true.
So there he had the thing where you drag from those icons on the left hand side into a.
That's good. Yes, that's good. Yeah, he has been doing this with Opus. Interesting.
But that platform you see there and that screenshot there, you can just run that, just download it from GitHub.
$3D fab commit render 3D yes.
Yeah. All these, it doesn't mean that those are technically correct. Like, for example, I see mistakes there, but that's what we mean. We got to go now. Okay, every single module you have to now validate. We don't have, for example, like, I mean, it's just another step. You got to do the compiler, then you create a concrete validator, right?
Yes.
Make sure that this is all good.
Correct. That's my point of that's the role of a specialized human.
Well, but you just say, make sure that the header is stretching all the way from the left to the right stud. Like it's that complicated. Those design rules, you can just say, oh, well, already the building codes have that language, just feed that. Or you can look at our extensive documentations and see how we did it and draw it from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, somebody has to have, it's just, you just got to dive in there and spend the time to do all these steps. But the point is, it does not require an engineer or architect to do this. Now any person can do this, pretty much.
Yeah, I understand.
Right.
Colin, very nice. Well, Colin is one of the biggest contributors.
Yep. And then, so Colby took from that. So see what Colby has, because Colby basically took that platform and then he started generating code to create those libraries on the wiki, because ultimately I think the wiki should be where the libraries should live.
Yeah.
So it's not all over the place. I mean, the wiki is the canonical design repository for OSE. Just feed that all into AI and parse all those things so you can know where to go next.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, so this is the key, the CCT lock. Nice. Graphenos.
Right. So we've got a lot of background work done. Now it's actually to do it and formalize it. So it's now when we're going to create these repositories and libraries and so forth, we can start getting a much larger team together. So right now, that's just a few people just showed some of the proofs of concept. Now to scale it, you actually got to get the proper structure, taxonomy, ontology, make sure you're doing this properly so that this doesn't blow up. Because I think we can get a lot of people contributing.
Yeah. Interesting. Very cool. Okay. So, what are your current timelines on Iconic Cat?
ASAP. How long is it going to take? We've got the taxonomies down just in basic level. So now to implement actually start developing for the 241 modules, start one by one and organizing them and creating a library for each one. So that's the step. That's the next step. The idea would be to get a few videos out there, just basic instructions on how to do this. So we basically got to start organizing all that, this copious amount of knowledge into something that's a few 2-minute videos and just get working team meetings going.
Yeah. This is Iconic Cat.
Oh, look, you're already doing it. Yeah. And the beauty of that is if those are actually technically correct, then you're actually designing a real house.
It's very cool. Yeah, so let me analyze and see what ideas I can come.
Yeah. It's really about getting one's head wrapped around, okay, what's the structure? How do you do the architecture of this to gain collaboration architecture based on this?
And it's even give you an estimator cost.
Oh yeah. All this stuff, that's what I'm saying, like and then click, here's the full build instructions in detail, fabrication drawings, like all these are layers on top of the design for which you create an individual schema for each of those assets. Schema compiler validator for each of those assets.
Yeah, and I can see the format. Yeah,
so now it's native for FreeCAD. Why FreeCAD? Because it's open source, and then it has good part tree functionality and some features that are quite useful. Wow. And it allows programming directly in Python. Actually, it's got a Python interface too. So FreeCAD seems to be the premier software that this is feasible in. Haven't tried other software. I mean, you can generate with other software, unless you can get at the actual language, which is Python for the files, then you don't have this much capacity to program it.
True.
So FreeCAD, I believe, is the best platform that lends itself to AI integration. That's readily available, like right now.
Yeah, but it's very cool, that FreeCAD.
Yeah, no, FreeCAD is. I think it's going to get more popular in the future.
I never heard of FreeCAD before. I have to be honest.
Yeah, just download it and now export it and open it up in FreeCAD.
Wow. Very cool.
Yeah, cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's organize that. Send you. So yeah, my goal is to, based on what we discussed, I'm gonna generate the big one for investors, like the document. And you give me feedback on that, we work on that, and then
and then we gotta confer with the board.
Yes.
So I can hold a meeting, and then we'll go forward. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
That's awesome.
Man, very good. So always good meeting.
Good meeting. Okay, so the follow up, yes, give me those docs, but give me also the you said that the proposal construction set method.
I don't know if I have a proposal.
You said you documented that.
I have for the presentations that I have.
Oh yeah, so for presentations. Yep.
Yeah. I will send that to you. Send it to Marcin. That's the document.
So are we okay? Actually, so right now, like with the documents you generated today, I am able to publish them, or you okay with that? I mean, just as works qualified as works in progress, like development docs, because even just for the sake of, oh, look at this doc, just like today, I was able to show you a lot of different content.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, you can do it, no worries.
Yep.
Very nice. And we also recorded this meeting, so everything is there.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
All right.
Okay, Marcin.
How are you doing otherwise on your PhD? Like, where are you at in that program?
Very good. Because I'm proposing a new way for, I will call it like international crowdfunding. I have published a couple of papers on how to do it, and people like them. Of course, my goal is always to transform into practical elements. Yeah. So, and I was invited to a conference, and I put the topic for the first time, and people really like it. So yeah, I think if people don't understand yet what is gonna be possible, that's the key, and that's what we have to show them. Yeah. So
when do you think how much time do you have in a PhD left, do you think?
No, in the PhD, 1 more year.
1 more year? Okay.
Yeah. And then, I have advanced very fast in that sense. I'm organizing everything, the model that I'm creating. Yeah. My goal at the end is to create a model that is going to be useful for someone, for a government, especially. Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's advancing pretty good. People really like it.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, no, I'm happy about it. In that sense, very good.
Awesome. Okay, so anything else? We're cool here?
No, we're good, man. So I'm gonna prepare everything, send, and we keep in contact, and then we.
Do you want to set up a meeting for the next time?
Yes, let's set up. I prefer let's do it each 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because it's better for me. Again, Thursday. What do you think? Same time.
That sounds good. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Send the invite.
Let me send that. And of course, I will send the documents ASAP. But I really like. Today I was thinking about, man, all these tools. The 50 tools are very interesting.
Yeah, and by the way, the technology genome, those 314 gets you all those 50 and spaceships and rocket ships and whole infrastructure of everything, the whole tech sphere. So
I like
it's so basically a generative set. Yeah. I mean, same concept. It's like, once again, if only people knew what's possible. Exactly.
That's what we need to keep. But I think we need this to. I think the only challenge later is gonna be how to find people that is helping us for the algorithm. That's it.
Algorithm for what?
So to create awareness about things. Because if people don't know you, that's the challenge. If people know you, because think about the World Cup. You see how many people were just like following the life of this mega YouTuber, Speed. I think he's the #1 like live presenter. He had in the matches 800,000 people watching him live. 800,000. Imagine how crazy is that?
Okay, so you know the answer to that one.
Yeah.
Product. So when a product start going, we're producing real stuff that meets people's real needs and distributing that power. That's how we're gonna break through that.
Yes.
We're gonna be peers of those kinds of numbers.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's the #1 thing that I'm thinking these days. Because the solution is there, we just have to show to people and
yeah, but that's where the process is important, like involving people in Iconic CAD development and showing people that, including involving people remotely and things like that. Keeping the core to how many people are we serving, how are we absolutely distributing power.
Yeah. Very nice. Okay, man.
Okay.
All right. Talk to you later. Ciao, ciao.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
How do we disconnect this? Transcribe.